We have our first games underway for UNLV versus USC. These are two teams, A teams, so this is the best players from both schools. And this is a Division 4 matchup, so top half of the league, essentially. A step up from our last match that we just saw last hour, which was UMBC versus University of France, French team. Let me announce that we're live here. All right. So what am I missing here? We had a French defense advanced, a check and bishop block, and now the pawn falls. Yeah. So normally in this position, this pawn gets defended. Like knight comes out here, or white will play this, trying to play b4. So knight here, trade, bishop check, and yeah. Now they have to block with the bishop, and now that drops the pawn. Yeah, now taking here, this leaves the queen hanging. So Meteor Slayer is going to go down here, lining themselves up with the discovery. There goes the queen. So that is a Botez gambit very early on in this game. So Meteor Slayer needs to touch up on the French defense theory. But the good news for Meteor Slayer is that their opponent is much higher rated than them. So they'll have chances later in this match to come back and get some points. It's better to blunder against a much stronger opponent than to blunder against someone that is more manageable for your rating, I'd say. Let's move on to another game. This is Saz versus Praveen. Who is Saz is Tomislav. So let's see. Ooh, we want to look at this game, actually. This is Kevin versus Veronica. These are the two teams' leaders. Veronica's been the captain of USC's team for a couple of years now. Kevin as well, actually. So these are seasoned veterans going at it head-to-head, toe-to-toe. So Veronica's with the white pieces here. She's got a little bit of rating over Kevin. Kevin actually is a streamer himself, but unfortunately he said that he can't stream while he plays. As his computer can't handle it, so who knows? Maybe his UNLV team can get some prize money this year and afford Kevin a better streaming setup so they can stream more matches. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, so we have a capture on c4. What is Veronica thinking here with the c4 pawn push? This is seemingly a free pawn, as it is defended. The queen is hit by the knight. Maybe the queen could go here, maintain defense over this pawn. That's exactly what Kevin does. But now okay, capture here. You can take here, here. So deciding to take here. This pawn can be pinned though, is the problem. You could see a move like this. or yeah, like this. Sorry, rook here exactly. So now the pawn is defended. So Kevin is holding on to this material. This is a passed pawn, a connected passed pawn. So Meteor Slayer finally resigns. They go down to Jupiter. So let's put the point on the board. USC getting the first point in the game. I think I'm not following someone. Let me see who it is. Here we are. That's right. All right. I have all 4 players followed. This is good. We got all 4 games underway. So everything's working perfectly. Look at the time advantage. Also, Praveen is up a lot of material. So Praveen, yeah, check and fork. So taking here was a bad idea. Not recommended. And bishop here is free piece. So that's a rough go of things. Black hasn't castled yet, but the time advantage, the position advantage, the rating advantage, everything is going in USC's favor there. Let's try to keep an eye on Veronica's game. So she blunders a pawn here. I mean, maybe you could say she gambited, but it seems to me that she blundered it. And Kevin grabs yet again another pawn. A 2-pawn advantage, but we have the queen bishop stack. Does Kevin see it? Can Kevin defend? Oh, Kevin! Oh no! Oh, Kevin, he couldn't resist the bait. Free knight for the free king. Oh, unfortunate, Kevin. Your position was pretty good, not gonna lie. But Veronica is tricky. She fooled you with that one. Let's tune back in here. Saws with only 45 seconds. Let's put the point on for Veronica. Okay, so a trade. The queen is hit by the rook. I mean, this king is very exposed. These pawns are doubled and isolated. The knight is pinned. This is not looking too good. Actually, we can see a sacrifice. Yep, that's exactly what we see. Praveen finds it immediately. Gives a check, and now the queen has to surrender herself. Rook takes, and we have queen and bishop versus rook, plus the time. This is going to be a win for USC as well. Is USC going to go for the sweep? Let's see what's going on over here. This is Pawn War. These players are pretty close in rating. About a difference of 50. Pawn War is up a pawn. And it is a passed pawn as well. So an outside passed pawn. This pawn is weak. Black is doubling up on the b file. These rooks are hard to get rid of. You want to get rid of this one because it is blocking the b pawn. And we want to take this pawn. So players are in a bit of a struggle here. Praveen won their game. So right now it is 3-0 in favor of USC. UNLV is going to have to put something together here. It is only the first round. Hopefully Johnny can be that spark that they need, but Johnny is under a minute on the clock here. We have an attack on the rook. Johnny counterattacking White's rook, so we could trade rooks. This could be favorable. We could see trade and then bring the bishop back, force the knight back out somewhere. So probably the knight would go back to b3. So that's exactly what we see here. Does the bishop tuck back to c2, trying to box in the knight, or do we just take the knight immediately, allowing for the rook to come back in? I think we want to save the bishop, but who knows? Okay, the knight could go here. Well, the knight has to move, and it has to go to one of these two. Otherwise, it's free. That, or you could take here as well, but okay, so knight here, I think we take, but it is annoying. Black is going to have a piece on b3 no matter what we do. So white takes, and now how to take back? Taking with the rook, okay. Going for bishop trade, this is smart. This is the fianchettoed bishop. 20 seconds, bringing the queen in. So you can trade and give check. Gets you out of the pen. There is pressure on the pawn. Pawn's defended though. I don't think black would sack the exchange. So, okay. Moving a pawn, this is susceptible to check. Simply king move. Should be fine here for white. About a 30-second advantage. As well as a pawn advantage. But hard to make progress. Okay, pawn here blocking the diagonal. Although the queen was still covering this, so... Perhaps preparing for a pawn push, but not sure if that makes 100% sense. Okay, so bishop comes back. You can go here now. Here, here, here. No, going this way instead. Bishop hits the pawn now. We could push the pawn, but you could weaken it. You do. So now the queen can step aside. Okay, offering queen trade, also attacking this. This is a stronger move. I think Johnny should be able to equalize here. Let's see. So the knight comes back. This prevents the rook from attacking the pawn immediately, but the rook can always get, you know... Okay, the bishop blocks the pawn, but it's going to be hard to attack this pawn with the rook because of the knight here. So white has centralized the king, but now the pawns are locked themselves in the center. So the center is closed. The knight is pinned now. But the rook isn't really doing much besides locking this pawn in. I mean, this is a hard structure to break as white. So the king will, or maybe the king should move over. Yeah, you're actually losing a pawn here as white. And now white's under on time. So black has more than equalized. So there goes this pawn, but there goes this pawn. The rook comes all the way back and is there in time to defend. So now this and this are a threat. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, going for this trade. I think white might be back in the driver's seat, but the king is now in time to stop this. But okay, the king is here just in time. What is going on? Is the king gonna come here? I think this pawn's gonna be lost now too. What is going on? What is going on? Under 10 seconds. Yeah, white's shuffling. Black should be better. Black needs to pick up the pawn. Ooh, going the wrong way. Yeah, the king needed to go here. Now this king is entering. Now king here. Actually, I don't know what's happening now. What? This pawn, the rook is now there to defend. Maybe white's better now. Oh, black's threatening this. Oh, it takes a knight. Oh, king here. But no, there's... Wow. Bishop here. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. This might be even. What's this king doing? The king needs to come back. Oh. Maybe not. Uh-oh. Trying to trade these. Rook here. Oh, check first. Hit the rook. Wow. Taking here. That's a 4. You got a block? Okay. Now white might be better. Pass pawn, though. Don't push. You allow this. You want to... Oh, no, no. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that's like the best plan. Check. Bishop here defending this. Now the king is back in time. You're going to drop this, though. You got to attack the bishop. Here. 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 Okay. So 2 pawns and a bishop versus a rook. So even technically on material, but the king is cut off. King here again. Pawn push again. We need the bishop here, I think. King here, though. Oh, you're gonna lose this pawn now. And you're losing this one as well. So white is better at this point. Yeah, mate was threatened, so you had to move the king. Oh, what's going on? I'm getting some flashbacks of Hikaru versus Fallujah, rook versus bishop, pre-move. Like, there is a technique. This game could last a long time. We might have to reach 50 move rule. But both players are in pressure, so you never know. Okay, so the king is forced to the back rank. Mate is threatened. Oh my goodness. You gotta run the king. Okay, the bishop's threatened. Ooh, bishop in the corner. I don't know. But yeah, how do you make progress as white? It's tough. I would have gone here. I would have gone here. Oh no, bishop here would have been winning for them. Never mind. Man. Yeah, let them give check, dude. See what happens. Yeah, you don't want to allow rook here. They might threefold. They might threefold. Do not go here. Yeah, you have to go this way. That's a threefold. All right. So UNLV is on the board. Johnny gets half a point. Pawnawar also gets half a point. Why is Division 8 Group B having a bye? All the teams have a bye week. The only teams that are playing today are the teams that have rescheduled. Man, that was a long game. That was over 100 moves. That was a 102 mover. Yeah. What team are you part of? Chessmaster Brent. It's good to see Josh is here. He's a fan of UNLV. Oh, you're from Sacred Heart. Awesome. All right, so round 2 is now underway. I think all the others, the other players waited for that board to finish. They could have continued, but they're taking it one game at a time, round at a time, I should say. So here we go. Veronica versus Johnny now. Veronica with the swindle mate against Kevin. So we'll see if she continues her victory streak of one game. We'll see if she extends it to 2. But Johnny had a draw, so Johnny is currently UNLV's point leader at the moment. You guys won 9-7. Nice. Okay. So we have Praveen here versus Meteor Slayer. So Meteor Slayer is UNLV's bottom board. It's going to be a tough matchup for him today. Here we have Jupiter versus Saws. Oh, maybe Saws is their bottom board. I probably have the boards mixed up, but that's okay. Yeah, same with USC's boards. I probably have them mixed up as well. But yeah, we're missing Kevin's game. Kevin versus Pawnawar, I believe. But yeah, for now, let's stick with this matchup here. Veronica versus Johnny. So what is going on exactly? Well, Johnny's got a Fianchetto light square bishop, so does Black. So the bishops are kind of staring at each other from a distance here. They both have a knight in between. A little bit of symmetry. Just a little bit. Here we go with Johnny's H-pawn. The H-pawn is running. And I believe H6 would have been good for white. I think H6 should be played from black now to just prevent white from playing it. The bishop is hit. This will ruin white's structure. But yes, still H6 is an idea. You could also just save the bishop. Yeah, bishop back to D2. This boxes out the knight's forward movement. We have Kevin's game. It has started. So the knight reroutes back. This kind of opens up the bishop just a little bit. Knight might look to come this way. So black is pretty solid right now. Bishop defending. Knight's connected. Lots of squares to work with for sure. Strong center. Some slight pressure here, but white is pretty solid as well. And they're striking at the center with c3. I like this move from white, contesting the center. Veronica can reinforce the center. Yeah, you definitely have to address this first. So taking... Okay, knight here now. This helps protect h6 a little bit. I still think h6 is good for white. Knight here doesn't really come with any threats. Helps protect d4 a little bit. White would like to get d4 in at some point to connect the pawn chain. That's exactly what they play. So we could see a trade. And then queen here, pressure on the pawn. The other rook to the d file. This also opens up the attack on this pawn with the queen. Veronica's got about 50 seconds on the clock, an advantage. She's thinking here, so Johnny's getting some of that time back. Not that it's that big a deal. Okay, so pawn defending the pawn. Not taking here. White trying to break this down. So yeah, last couple of pawn moves, Johnny's been really contesting Veronica's strong center. Veronica continues forward here. So this is supported by the pawn and the knight. And if pawn takes, we can have queen takes or bishop takes, supporting this even further. But basically deciding to keep the a file closed. So this is a passed pawn now. Rook hits the queen. We could block with the knight. Open up this diagonal. Opting to move the queen aside. And now pawn push to a5. So this prevents black from playing a5. But at the same time, this frees up the b5 square, which Veronica's looking to pounce on immediately. So now the rook trying to block the pawn. But this pawn is pretty defended. Even if it's not connected by another pawn, it has knight and bishop both defending it. But now Johnny's putting a lot of pressure on it. So let's see how to cope with this. Okay, offering rook trade. Can white take? I think so. They trade rooks on c8 first. And now, will they go for this? Yay or nay? Johnny might be able to win a pawn here. Doesn't go for it. Opts for the trade of knights instead. Taking with the queen or the bishop here. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but you're alleviating pressure on this pawn, so Veronica might have a chance to save it. I mean, bishop takes, knight takes. Yeah, you don't want to give up the rook, I guess. You'd have to give up the exchange for it, so Johnny doesn't go for it. Instead, trading knights. Let's tune into another game here. Let's see how Meteor's holding up to Praveen. Praveen up material, up an exchange to be precise. I think that f6 is really good for white. Just seems positionally good. Saving the pawn. Let's get Saw's game. Yeah, Saw's is in a tough spot as well here. Yeah, black is down way too much material. What happened in this game? Yeah, I don't know what this was. Just another Botez gambit. Okay. And the last game, Kevin versus Pound of War. What is this material imbalance? Kevin is up a piece for 2 pawns. Okay. Let's tune back into Veronica's game. No, Saw's lost. The 1400 lost this game. Jupiter won. So let's give the point to Jupiter. USC is building on their lead. Okay, so what is going on here? What is going on here? So the rook is hit, and the rook didn't really get saved. Resignation here is, hold on. Knight is pinned. Oh, and Veronica just makes a new queen. What on earth happened? Okay, so this is Black's pawn. So actually the knight's trapped. Yeah, that's rough. 2 queens to none. No, to 1 still. So Veronica 2-0. Let's see. Praveen versus Meteor. Meteor's down to their last 20 seconds. But they've gotten a pawn back. They're hitting the queen. Taking here. So the threat is if you take the queen, we're going to see it now. Knight checked, bishop's pinned, and this is going to be mate next. So Botez gambit for the win. Very nicely done from Praveen. Hanging the queen there, some juicy bait. Meteor Slayer is going to go down to a back rank. Resigns. Nicely played from Praveen. So now we have Kevin versus Pawn of War. Can Kevin get anything going here for the UNLV team? Can he lead the way? He blundered mate in 1 against Veronica. He's going to try to make up for it here against Pawn of War. So Kevin is up. Oh, he's up a bishop pair versus a rook. A very interesting imbalance. What about rook here? Oh, there's this. What about rook here? Oh, there's this. Okay, so rook goes here. And now this is a threat, sort of. I mean, it is. Is Kevin going to be able to defend this? I think this should be a good move. Perhaps. This would still happen, but then you can... Well, maybe you want to go here. I don't know. This actually is a pretty solid move because you cover all these squares. The rook doesn't have much room to go. So that's exactly what Kevin does here. And now the threat is to just go here and take this. So we have a flight square now, but not really. Okay, the rook is hit. What I mean by that is if the rook ever lifts, check, king here, and now bishop here. Wins material for white, but the rook is kicked regardless. So the rook is going to have to retreat. I don't think you want to go here. That would not be good. So the rook offers a trade here. And white is happy to oblige. So trade down rooks. We're left with rook versus bishop pair. This should be favored for Kevin. Let's see if he can convert. So bishop develops, hitting the pawn, just keeping constant pressure on this, tying the rook down. We have pawn advance from black. I think white should play here. Instead playing here, trying to break at the structure. Ooh. What happened here? So king up, check, and now this pawn is cemented in there. Rook check now. King here, but hold up. Hold up. Kevin playing a little too quickly here. He's the one that has the time advantage. He's now dropping a piece. So now black is favored. Black is up in exchange for a pawn. That's why a4 earlier would have been nice, because you're just protecting that. So now there's a passed pawn on the board. The king's gonna have to run back. Bishop goes here. This cuts the king off, and now the king enters. Black can push this, and does. Kevin might have to give up the bishop. King here. Yeah, Kevin's playing too fast. Playing too fast. King has to step out. Only move. Kevin's gonna lose this game. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Ah, he resigns. Rip. Rip. Pawn war. After drawing the first game, winning their second, that is a sweep of round 2 for USC. Oh, I'm still spectating older players' games. Hold on, let me unfollow them. Okay, so we got Jupiter versus Johnny. So Johnny still has the only points from UNLV, a round 1 draw. UNLV still looking for their first full point. I think Kevin had their best chance in that last round. Unfortunately, played too quickly. Tried to go for the flag, but USC played well under time pressure and was able to pick up a hanging piece that Kevin didn't protect. He could have played a4, I think. Unfortunate. Okay, so what is going on here? Jupiter is up a pawn. About 100 rating points in favor for Jupiter. So let's see. We got some passed pawn. We got a passed pawn on the A file. This is a good pawn. And yes, the pawn should push. This pawn is not hanging. It's defended. Okay, push, push. Here. Nope, just developing the last piece, connecting the rooks. Jupiter convert this. Oh, Adeline Krukov in the chat. I was spectating their game, I believe. Well, my USCF is like 1800, mid 1800s. Okay, e4. Hitting the queen, playing in the center, clamping down on the e-pawn. This does open up this diagonal, the long diagonal for the bishop, but the queen is cut off from the protection over d5. So bishop developed, queen hit, and now d5 falls. So this is good for Johnny. So the material has been rebalanced, but this is a center pawn, which means that this pawn can get rolling, and black can try to create a pass pawn of their own. White still has the outside pass pawn, which is also the only pass pawn in the position. But black seems to have it under control so far. Did I say the wrong piece? I do that so much. Sometimes I'll say like rook when I mean knight or whatever. Okay. Rook attacks the pawn, but the pawn's defended by the bishop. Rook comes to the center. Pressure on the knights. The knight is defended. Okay, the knight hits the queen and the bishop takes it immediately. Rook recaptures. This bishop's a little sidelined. And this rook's going to be hard to kick out. Maybe we need to reroute this knight to kick out this rook. So the knight might want to come here. Try to push through somehow. A minute to about 2 minutes. So Johnny also with the time advantage. So yeah, I think after the dark square bishop developed, this e4 move was really good from black. And now the knight is kicked and this pawn will fall too. So where does this knight go? Here. Now black can take with either piece and does so. So Johnny is now the favorite in this position. Both on the board and on the clock. So we'll see if Jupiter can hold on here. Trying to break at the center. Black trying to undermine the bishop. So yeah, I like how black is playing this. This is pretty well played. And after taking here, these pieces are going to be hanging. I think black is winning more material with this move. This is really powerful. So queen steps aside, but what are you doing about these guys? Pieces on the rim. Quite them. So yeah, Johnny's playing this really well. I think you just take this. Or no, now you're pinned. You're pinned now, so let's see. You can take here. Rook takes here, pawn takes, bishop takes knight. So that was missed. That was a missed tactic. The knight was hanging opposite the bishop. So the rook could have moved with discovery. Taking here would have been one as well. So the knight saves itself and actually the rook is trapped. So Jupiter's pulling back. Actually, no, the knight cannot take the rook as this will be a gnarly fork that you don't want to blunder. So some complications here. The exchange is sacrificed. So it's 2 pawns versus an exchange. Material has been rebalanced, but Johnny still has a time advantage. This is a good knight in the center. White took a timeout to defend the fork threat. And the rook was still trapped, so that's why they gave up the exchange for the pawn. Ooh, here goes another pawn. So white is clawing their way back. Never given up. This knight needs to contribute. Yeah, taking here. So now the king's a little exposed. Can black get an attack going? Can black go here? Okay, hitting the queen. You could take this. Then take this. This should be good for black. I would do this. Take. It's really strong, actually. They could have won a pawn here, no? I mean, they could have, but taking here would be much stronger. Much stronger. For sure. So knight goes here. Save the bishop, maybe? Yeah, black had better, for sure. Earlier as well. So now the knight is hitting the bishop. Black has a passed pawn, though. Can never underestimate the power of passed pawns. Ooh, now black is under time. Both players under 20 seconds. Oh, what is this? What is this? The knight was hitting the bishop. Oh, Johnny in time pressure blunders a piece and the fork. So that's going to be blundering a rook. They were already down in exchange. That was rough. Jupiter, flawless, 3 for 3, extending USC's lead. In fact, USC with this last point clinches the match victory, getting over the 8-point mark. Here we got Veronica also 3 for 3. The UNLV players are dropping like flies. USC looking for perhaps another sweep. What's going on in this game? Both players with 2 minutes left. Meteor versus Pawn of War. And Meteor's gotten a fork, so let's see what happened here. Neither player castling. Push. Knight coming in, picking up a pawn, picking up a fork. Now pawn here. Black could probably get the exchange back. Knight is hit. So black will want to save the knight, and then we'll probably have another pawn push, maybe. Yeah, white should be better. Even if black is getting the exchange back, they're going to have to give up their pawn for it. So Meteor Slayer could get a point here. So knight comes back, bishop check. Oof. Bishop check, king here. There's going to be a knight check. Probably. That or pawn push. Actually, I like pawn push first. For a few reasons. Because now, after pawn push, the bishop can come here. Right? If you did pawn push first, and the bishop goes back this way, then bishop check, the king has to go here now. And actually, this would be really bad. Like pawn put, well, the knight's here. Huh. Yeah, but like imagine if the bishop was on f8 right now. How much trouble black would be in after knight check. King is forced into this discovery. So knight check anyways. King can step aside. You could also take, but probably don't want to do that. So step aside, bishop here. White could have also considered knight e6 check, which picks up the bishop, either with the fork or with the discovery. Oh, this was a free piece. Okay. Yeah, this wasn't the best move for white. But white gets to preserve the rook, I suppose. But ultimately, it's going to be even material. White's going to be a little bit better, I think, because of this weak king and these strong pawns. So there goes this. Knight takes, bishop takes with check. Or you could do this. Yeah, so pawn of war is going to be up a pawn. Both players under a minute on the clock now. Let's tune into Praveen versus Kevin. So what is going on here? Kevin's under a minute now. Praveen over a minute and a half. So the rook is hitting the bishop, but the bishop is defended by the knight. Kevin's just got to pick up the pace here a little bit. He's bleeding time. So rook steps back. Yeah, white's playing fast. Let's tune back in here. Both players under 30 seconds. So the bishop is saved, defending the knight. Pawn of war, up a pawn. Trading knights. Would you take here? Taking with the king, that's so unintuitive. You want to leave the bishop open. Bishop takes is definitely more natural. King steps up. So the bishop's opened again. Rook here is a great move for white. So bishop lifts, which is good. Taking here, and now this pawn's going to be hard to catch. Or to defend, I should say. It's going to be very easy to catch. So I think pawn of war should win this game. White needs to go for a counterattack. They need to go after this pawn. You can't play this because you lose that. So here, takes here. There's no good knight discoveries. In fact, it's pinned. So white should push. Oh, 1 second. Move. Oh, Meteor. Meteor had a good position, a good chance, but they flagged. So pawn war. 2.5 out of 3 now. Meteor Slayer needs to pick up the pace there at the end. Okay, last game of round 3. There's 1 round left after this. Is USC gonna get back-to-back round sweeps? Let's see. Kevin's down to his last 12 seconds. Praveen with just under 30 seconds now. So Kevin takes a piece. Yeah, this is a nice tactic from Kevin. He wins a piece with this. So Kevin's up a piece, and it's a great piece at that. The knight check. If Kevin doesn't convert this, I'll be sad. I'll be sad boy. Kevin's got everything under control for now. He could take this pawn. Perhaps he should have. He takes it now. Come on, Kevin. UNLV going for their first point. Discover check. Passed pawn. Another pawn. Time's about even. Sacking the... Oh, it's not even a sack. The pawn is pinned. Oh, and there goes the queen. Botas Gambit. Oh, let's go. UNLV's first point on the board. Comeback? No. Okay, so no sweep on consecutive rounds here. So with that, Kevin has tripled UNLV's point total from 0.5 point to 1.5 points. So UNLV with a full point on the board. Kevin with the win. You love to see it. All right. Here we go. 4th and final round. We have Veronica versus Meteor Slayer. Veronica's 3 for 3, looking to go 4 for 4. Can Meteor Slayer hold her from the flawless victory? Who else? Jupiter from USC also is 3 for 3, looking for 4 for 4. Kevin, though, UNLV's leader, both on the score and in their club, just got a point and is looking to continue to see if he can stop Jupiter's streak. So we got Jupiter and Veronica doing well. Praveen is the only player that got a loss from well, he's the only one that lost on USC's team. So he's gonna look to, or they're gonna look to come back. But Johnny got the first point for UNLV, a 0.5 point in round 1. This is their final game. Looking to see if they can add to their total. And yeah, Pawn War versus Saws. I think Pawn War had the draw against Johnny. So from UNLV, Saws and Meteor Slayer, the only 2 players that don't have any points. They're going to try, this is their last round to do it. Trying to get something on the board. They're both mismatched, though. The rating advantage is pretty much in USC's favor on every board. So this was a tough matchup for UNLV. Well, yeah, the winner of the match is already decided, but the board points are important too because that's used for tiebreakers for playoffs. So every point counts. Every point counts. USC is going to try to extend their lead as much as possible, as it's going to help them in the long run. How many teams make playoffs? So if you count the wild card, 6 out of the 8 teams in the group make playoffs. So we have divisions of 16, 2 groups of 8. In each group of 8, the bottom 2 teams are eliminated. So their season ends at the end of the regular season. And then the top 2 teams automatically qualify for quarterfinals. The middle 4 teams will play in the wild card weekend on November 13. So only half the teams make it to quarterfinals. 6 out of 8 make it past the regular season. Top 2 make quarterfinals, yes. So the middle 4, teams 3 through 6, they play in an elimination match on November 13th, with the quarterfinals being on the 14th of November, and then finals and semifinals. I should have said it the other way around. Semifinals and finals are on November 20th and 21st. Your team's undefeated. That's good. Yeah, this is Sacred Heart's first year participating, I believe, which is exciting. Okay, knight on f4 I like a lot. Veronica has a bit of a space advantage here, as well as just a better chance of opening this attack on the king. So taking here and taking away from the center, I mean, it's complicated either way. You take this way, you kind of expose the king a little bit, but you take this way, and now black has a connected pass pawn. So the bishop's not really hit, as this pawn is pinned to the queen. But the bishop probably will want to move regardless. Maybe put some pressure here. Instead going here. But yes, Veronica can open the A file regardless, and does so. So now we can see a check. This is not a good bishop for Veronica. So black is probably favored here a little bit, but she does have the open A file, and she's going to be doubling soon, so. Yeah, this bishop is just a tall pawn back here. Let's check in on Kevin's game. So Kevin seems to be up a pawn. His queen is hit. Kevin probably just wants to tuck back, push. Black has the C file. So yeah, this is a threat. This probably sack. Take. Yeah. So let's see. What can Jupiter do about this move? What can they do? Oh, we have a result already. Dang. Johnny goes down to Praveen. Sacrifice here. Takes. Is this really resignable? I mean, I guess. I mean, it's not like they needed the points for a comeback. The match was over after round 3? Very early in round 3. So Praveen finishes the day 3 out of 4. What's up, Resurrect? How's it going? Ah, we do have the knight sacrifice. We'll have... Okay, the knight drops. Let's see. Queen check, maybe inserted first and then take the knight. But okay, check. There's bishop check. There's queen check. There's pawn push. I like pawn push. I think Kevin should win this. Kevin's turned up in this last 2 rounds here. Let's check in on pawn war. I'm saying Panawar, but it could be Panawar. It's probably Panawar. I don't know. Okay, so the bishop's opened up. Is that a free piece? I'm confused. No, the bishop's here. Okay. But there's this move. I think that is a free piece. I don't think that they could have gone here. Boom. Fork. Thank you very much. Saz is going to go down. Hey, thank you for playing, Praveen. I appreciate it. You played well today. Okay, let's tune in here. So Veronica versus Meteor Slayer. Check, check, block, check. And the king is forced back. Queen can take here. This is sloppy. Oh, you could take this with check as well now. Okay, taking here first. Also pretty good. Probably better because you're winning this rook. Well, you're winning a lot. Veronica's just winning. Oh, Kevin won his game. Nice. Resigner. Ah. Wow. Wait. Okay. I mean, yeah, that works. But very well played from Kevin. So point for Veronica. She gets the sweep. 4-0. Kevin 2-0. So he finishes the day even. 2 for 2. He lost to the first two players, won his second two games. So let's see. This is the fourth and final game of the round, and Panawat wins against no. Who did he play against? Saz. So they finished 3.5. So look at that. Really well played from USC. They only had 2 losses out of the whole match, both to Kevin, UNLV's leader. And so their worst players were at 3 out of 4. They had Veronica go flawless 4 out of 4, and Panawar didn't lose but only had 1 draw, so 3.5 out of 4. You couldn't really ask for much more out of USC. Really good match for them. This was their reschedule match from week 1, so they are 1 for 1. And yeah, their second match will be next week. So nice, good match for USC.